Today we have problems with this laser printer. It keeps saying that it's jammed, so we're going to open it up and take a look inside to see why it's jammed. As you can see, there's a paper stuck underneath the toner cartridge. Anyway, this printer is being used in a large warehouse, and it prints about 2,000 or 3,000 pages a day. So if we remove the paper tray, and now we're removing the back cover where the fuser is, we tried it again. Again, there's another paper stuck in the printer, and we're going to take a look today and see why. Doesn't look like anything is broken in here, but so the first thing we'll try is power cycling, see if it's a software issue. The printer restarted, and again we have a paper jam. So it seems like the paper is not getting into the back where the fuser is, so I took the back cover off. Just 2 screws, and I'll show you later how to do that. And you can see the paper sticking out. So yeah, the paper is ending up there, and it's getting jammed right there at the fuser. So we need to figure out why. I see some little bits of paper stuck underneath and what looks to be a leaf or something. So I'm gonna clean the little bits of paper out, and then we'll go from there and get that paper out. So I put the printer on its side and dumped a lot of paper. You can see the little bits are falling. I made a little bit of mess on the floor, and then I put the cover back on. So yeah, later in this video I'll show you there were at least 5 problems with this printer. We managed to fix all of them, and I'll show you how. So again, we still have the same paper jam. Even after cleaning it, you can see the paper is still getting stuck at the fuser. So it is very frustrating, and this happened several times, and the paper is getting stuck at the exact same spot in the fuser. So it looks like the problem is with the fuser. The first thing you want to do to replace the fuser is take the back cover off. The plastic piece that I just pulled off is optional, but it's easier to take it out to get those 2 screws shown by the arrows. There's 2 different screws, and you just need a screwdriver with a plus sign to take both screws out. And they're just hand tight, so just get the screws out. The second one's a little bit inside. And then gently pull on the cover from the bottom, and it will come out. Be careful, there's a plastic tab on the side, and you have to lift the plastic tab up or push the cover down. You do not want to break the tab. And then there's this there are 3 cables that connect onto the fuser, and then pull the plastic cover off on the side to get to the 3rd cable. But 1 cable comes out of the fuser, and 2 go into the fuser, and then there's 4 screws shown by the arrows. So you need to take the 4 screws out that hold the fuser in place. Again, you can use a plus screwdriver for that. And be careful not to lose the screws, because the new fuser does not come with screws. So once you've gotten all 4 screws out, take that comb piece out, it just snaps into place. You can pull back on it, and then gently pull back on the fuser assembly, and the entire fuser will come out. with the cable. So you can see on this fuser where that it's totally worn out at the belt where it says bad. The rubber is totally worn down to the plastic and it's not gripping the paper anymore, and that's why the paper is getting stuck right at the fuser. So we're going to replace the fuser. It's about a $200 part. You can buy a maintenance kit and it comes with a bunch of rollers and stuff. And then reconnect the 3 cables and put the screws back in, the 4 screws that you took out. Again, the fuser comes with the HP maintenance kit for this printer. You can buy it separately. If your fuser is really worn down, then as you're going to see, a lot of your rollers and pads are probably worn down as well. So it's a good time to replace everything in the printer, and taking it apart anyways. So you might as well. They sent us a cheap aftermarket fuser, and they're using a non-genuine toner here, but I would recommend that you buy the genuine HP products. So make sure the cables, all 3 cables are in. I screwed up a little bit here and I pulled one of the cables. I left it stuck behind the fuser, so I have to pull the fuser back out and move that power supply connector back so that we have all 3 cables in the fuser. You can't miss them. There's 2 on the left side and there's 1 on the right side. The one on the left side plugs into the printer. That's the big white cable that you can see where it goes behind the cover. So the cover just snaps into place. Make sure all the tabs are in behind the metal part, and then just snap the cover into place and you'll be good to go. And put the comb back. I forgot to put the comb back earlier, so I have to do it again. And this comb just guides the paper through. It just snaps into place, and then the back cover snaps into place as well. Attach it back to the white plastic tab, and then put the tabs upward and push on the cover. Sometimes it's helpful if you put the printer on the edge of the table and do this. It's easier to get that cover in. Once the cover is all the way in, then you just need to put the 2 screws back in place. And the 2 screws are different. The smaller screw goes on the right side, and the bigger screw goes on the left side. And it's a bit more recessed. And then you're good to go. So you can put the cover back on. Again, this cover is optional, so you do not have to take it off in order to get the back lid out. Sometimes if you pull too hard on the light gray tray, it snaps out of place, and you jump on the left side and you gently have to push it back in. What's up with that? So it looks like it's printing, but there were other issues with the printer actually. So your fuser is grabbing onto the paper, but we're going to find out later that there were some other problems with this printer that are going to have to be fixed. And as you'll see later, so now we have a paper jam in the printer again, and we're going to take a look, and the paper tray doesn't show any signs of a jam. And again, we're going to look underneath the toner, and we still don't see a jam. We're going to take the toner cartridge out, and there's no jam. It's very dirty though, but no jam. So that's pretty messed up. I'm going to clean some of the toner out. Don't get the toner on your clothes. And so we're going to replace some of the rollers. uh, this roller, this is the transfer roller. First we're going to replace the front roller, just right at the front, and there's two tabs on the left and the right, and you just have to pull on them and eventually it will pop right out. So just push on the tabs, and then, yeah, there you go. And then put the new roller in. It just snaps into place, but make sure it only goes in one way, so make sure all the tabs line up. And it snaps into place. And we did not replace that purple tab underneath. That's but we probably should have. But we are going to replace the transfer roller at the back. So just get a very small screwdriver and stick it underneath and just pop it out. It's attached to some gears, which you can't see from this angle, but there's a gear on the left side, like a little gear assembly, and it just comes out with the transfer roller. There's a little plastic piece on the right side. So get the left side first, and then yeah, just get a screwdriver in there. Be gentle though. And don't touch the new transfer roller with your hands, because you'll get oil from your hands and it will mess up the transfer roller, and that will mess up your print quality. So in this case we're going to replace the gear assembly onto the new transfer roller. The spring-loaded part slides on, and the gear part has to fit snug until it doesn't come out. And then put the black plastic tab on the other side. It only fits one way. And then this whole assembly just snaps back into place where you found it in the printer. You don't actually need to lift that. It goes right behind that stainless steel tab. And just push it down and it will fit snugly into place. And there you go. So, well, having a little bit of trouble here. Just, yeah. Okay. So once it's in place, make sure the black plastic tab is in and snapped in. Don't try to drop it below me. And so we got another paper jam. So this time we look in the paper tray and there's no jam, and we tried it again, printed a few sheets, and then we have another jam, and sometimes it says the cartridge, but sometimes it says diffuser, but there's no jam anywhere. There's no actual paper jam, and there's nothing clogging up inside the printer. But you can see how that paper is elevated. We're looking in the tray again. So we replaced the pickup roller from above the tray. And this one, it just slides right out. Pull it to the left, and then it comes out, and then just put the new one in. Put it in from the left side first, and push to the left, and then it just slides right in, back where you found it. And so, put the paper tray back, and we still have a paper jam. It won't print at all this time. So you can see how the first sheet in the tray is a little bit up. The printer is trying to pick it up with that spring-loaded tab in the tray, and it's not able to grip onto it. And that's because this printer's been in use for so long that the rubber part on that spring-loaded tab is totally worn down. So we're going to replace this tab as well. There's two screws, one on the left, one on the right, and just take the screws out and put the new one in. Again, these are aftermarket parts. I don't recommend that you use aftermarket parts. There's a genuine HP maintenance kit, but our hands were tied in this case. So then just put the tabs, put the screws back in, and now you have to pull the cartridge out and put it back in so that the printer thinks you look underneath the cartridge, or toner cartridge, and then it should start printing now, I hope. So once we did that, it totally solved the problem, and it printed pretty much every page in the tray. And so we're totally good now, and the rest of this video is just the printer printing more and more